Just give me a moment as I adjust and make sure everything is good. Okay, beautiful ones. Okay, if you can see me, my loves, just let me know. I'm just gonna double check that everyone can see me and you can hear me. I can see a little eye. So if you're here watching, just say hello, even if you're popping off. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I think it's Ilona, if I pronounced your name correctly. Hello, beautiful. It's so good to have all of you here. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you, thank you. Hello, good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Let me know where you are watching me from so that I can just greet you like, properly. Saying good morning when you're in the evening time seems a bit inappropriate, right? So let's just let me know so that I can greet you appropriately. All right, beautiful. Is it all right, okay. I think I'm live. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you, Ilona. Thank you. That's so amazing. So great to connect with you here finally. It's such a privilege to really be with all of you and beautiful Anga, I think it is. And let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let me know. It's just beautiful to connect with all of you. Honestly, it is with a deep, heartful gratitude that I just want to express to all of you for being here in this space and just receiving and absorbing in the wisdom and the knowledge that I am so honored to be able to carry forward to you. And if you're new in this space, thank you and welcome again. My name is Li Ying, and I am a divine energy alchemist, a ceremonial keeper, and also a sacred transformation mentor. All of these things are things that I do in tandem, they're never separate. My mission is really to help at least 10 divine, spiritual, creative, feminine leaders every month to live on purpose in their own authentic power. And the way I do this is really threefold. It is to integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And through the work that I do, which is truly one of a kind, I do this through ceremony, I do this through rituals, and I do this through beautiful goddess embodiment practices that I have been honored to carry through from Zen masters, tea masters, just beautiful ancestral goddesses that we've been able to really get back in touch with through these passages. So more on that in a little bit. Today I just really wanted to come on here and share a little bit about what I'm really seeing and what I have experienced and what you can really take away from this, because more than ever I think all of us are really living in a time when we can really see the divisiveness in everything, even in the spiritual world, and how we actually manage that and how we transmute that into our own wisdom is really key here. Because I, for one, personally, I don't believe in avoiding triggers or telling people not to trigger you, because it is beyond our control, first and foremost. And secondly, I have really come to believe that triggers are merely reflections and opportunities for us to grow even bigger, to expand into our own true essence, to become truer to ourselves even. And sometimes it can be uncomfortable, sometimes it can be really triggering as fuck, sometimes it can be really something you want to resist, right? And it's something I want to talk about. And that resistance often comes because it is something that we hold as a security. And I call this the illusion of security or illusory security, because it can come in a way that feels like it's safe, but it's actually something that is constricting you. The easiest example I can give you is something that I quite recently heard from my own private client, beautiful goddess, who is in a full-time job, and it's a job that she doesn't like. She doesn't like it at all, but she's been telling me that, well, I have to do this, and no matter how much I do, it just doesn't feel like it's enough money that I get from this job. That's what she always say to me. And you know, I for one am a guide. You know, I'm a mentor, and I don't ever tell you what to do. It's something that I want you to feel fully aligned with, and then you go ahead and do that. My work here is to unveil your true essence so that you can hear you inside of you, pull back all the veils and hear what you really want, and then go forward to do this. And one of the things I always said, you know, listening to her share this, is that what is it costing you to chase after something that keeps you safe, right? How much of your true essence is this chasing of something that you don't even like but you think keeps you safe is costing you? Yeah. And I really want you to take this and think about that yourself as well, because it truly is something that is deeply important. So many of us get stuck in that space because we are not willing to move forward. We're not willing to leave behind something that has long disintegrated. And when I say disintegrate, I really mean something that no longer serves you because you're becoming bigger than it is. And I think a lot of people play it small because they think that safety is the first thing that they need to take care of, and they can't leave something because they think that's the thing that gives them security. That is what I mean by the illusions of security. And I wonder if you are in this as well, if you feel this, please say yes, and let me know where you're at. Like, what are you experiencing at the moment? Could it be perhaps a marriage? Could it be even a relationship with your business partner that is no longer working and you still feel that you need to be in that business? Could it even be your own spiritual expansion, something that you've been doing, you know, whether you are a healer or a light worker or a mystic or a witch even, right? Do you feel that it's no longer serving you? Yeah. So really get real with that, because the truth of the matter is that we are all destined to disintegrate. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that again. We are all destined to disintegrate. And what I really mean is that I want you to start to get curious about the word disintegrate. I want you to get curious about how good it is going to be when I disintegrate the parts of me that I know is the block, right? The reason why we call it a block is because it's become so dense, it's become so heavy that we're carrying something that we no longer actually have to carry. And maybe society has caused you to believe that you need to carry this, or that you have a conditioning that is causing you to feel so much fear in you that you can't think and imagine the enormity of the consequences of releasing that is no longer serving you. I understand that. I feel you. I totally understand that. Yeah, I just want you to know, I want you to know, no matter what your circumstances, yes, I'm not you. I'm not sitting where you are. I'm not standing where you are. But I'm absolutely here to really see you through that darkness, because that darkness is a fertile space. Hello, beautiful Elizabeth. It's been so long. I can't wait to walk you, my love. Elizabeth's a divine client of mine, and I can't wait to see you flourish as well. We're going to start very soon, right? Isn't it? So I'm just going to say this, my loves. We have been led to believe that the darkness, the icky feelings, the things that we don't really want to face up to, the triggers, things that make us feel really ugly and angry and ashamed and embarrassed, those are your fertile grounds. They are your grounds to really expand. Because the longer you don't face up to that, the bigger that block will become. And yes, it will manifest physically. First and foremost, perhaps in the circumstances that you're in, the people that you're with, And then it will become a physical illness. It will become a physical block. Call it a tumor, call it whatever, a disease. It is important for you to understand that we are all spiritual beings. We are all cosmic beings. And first and foremost, you came from that nothingness, that void, that fertile ground that I'm talking about. We came from that space. So of course, when we drop into that space, we come in, and we come in, and we come back to the void again and again to be rebirthed. Just as we were all, that just as we began, from dust we raised, let's just put it again, from dust we rise, and back to dust we go. And it is up to us how we rise from those spaces where we start all over again. It feels like we're starting all over again, but make no mistake, every time you come into that space of what we call the void, it is the most creative, juicy time of our lives. And it is up to you whether you want to accept that and get to work on how to learn to be in that fertile ground, how to harness that energy, or you can move through it in pain with thousands of complaints, thousands of pain and sorrow, and still come through. You will come through. Of course, all of us will. This is something I want you to know. However long it takes you, however you move through it, is really your free will. That is what it means to live on your own terms, right? So if you truly are here to live on purpose, in your authentic power, to live on your own terms, as we say, right? Why don't you, I want you to get curious about this. Why don't you live in a way where you truly know how to work with these different subtle energies, instead of fighting your way through, instead of protecting yourself, instead of defending yourself against things, when truly you are already an alchemical fire, ready to just come into this space and share your power. And your power alone is the one thing that will really change humanity. That is it. Whether you're doing it on a small scale of, let's put it this way, when I say small, I don't even say it in a way that's insignificant. I mean, smallest things really make me so happy. And if you are one of my clients, you would know how much I speak about this, like seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary. Yeah. When you do the smallest thing and it has such a huge ripple effect, that is extraordinary to me. The smallest gesture, the smallest thing that you do today can change your entire life. For me, it really was the smallest thing that really happened. I'm just gonna put it out there because I know I have this big story of being anorexic and then coming from anorexia to fully healing my body, and then from there I had a Kundalini awakening and going into a meditation space where I was not spiritual in every sense of the word, like quote unquote spiritual, and then opening up the gateway to all these beautiful cosmicness, and finally really stepping into my soul purpose. But make no mistake, I really believe, and I know this in my heart, even though it makes me feel a little bit like, butterflies in my stomach will come up when I think about it. Like, maybe one day the work that I'm doing here is done and I need to move forward, I will have to do it too. And that is the purpose. The sole purpose that we're talking about is not the job that you're doing, not the role that you have now, whether you're a mother or a healer or a guide or a priestess. One day you might wake up and you feel like this is no longer who I am, or that this work is done. Now what? I don't know, but bring it on. That is the power of the work I do and share in the Siren Goddess. I don't want to give you a roadmap where you can just take it and copy everything. I don't want that. I think you're sovereign enough, and I think we're living in a time when we have to be sovereign beings, where we are given the tools and the guide to really go forward, to be ourselves, to be our authentic self. That now what, Elizabeth, is so juicy and potent. And I think the reason why we had to kind of, so just for context to everyone, Elizabeth is starting a little bit later with me. She signed up maybe like 1 month ago, I think. I don't know, I can't even remember. Time has flown so fast. That now what had to come for us to do this work, I think, honestly speaking, because I say this all the time, like my work is not for everyone. That's why I have that sacred transformation call. I have a heart-to-heart chat with every person who wants to work with me, because it truly really asks of you to be open to receive, to be open to the possibilities that are coming to you, to be open to working in this fertile space, the void as we call it. But I truly know it for what it is. It is the mother of all things. It is the mother of 1,000 things, as they call it in the Tao. And it is the Tao. The Tao is our Dharma. It is the universe. And when you come into the space to work with me, we will get down and dirty into the space where we really embody this truth. Because if you don't embody it, you intellectually know everything. By the way, everyone, I know you all love this whole thing about awakening, but let me just put it out here. If you are awakening to truly high vibrations in the world, and you're not embodying it, you're not deeply rooted in it, you're not earthing it, let's just put it that way, anchoring it in, you're gonna get a lot of things that you're feeling, like lightheadedness, or feeling like you're eating a little bit more. Those are the biggest symptoms I see, right? It's not a bad thing, but it makes you feel worse in your body because you don't know how to anchor in that cosmic light. That's why I find it so fucking important that you actually work with a mentor who truly knows what to do, tell you when these things happen. Yes, tiredness. Yes, exactly it, Elizabeth. When you don't anchor in, you don't know how to work to integrate all these parts that you are, by the way. They're not separate from you, the mind, the body, and the spirit. When we integrate them, you know exactly, oh, right, so high vibrational frequencies are coming in. What do I do? It's not just like take a salt bath, right? It's great that you do that. Walk in nature, great. But how do we integrate that with our bodies? How do we make our body really blend in and get your mind to actually find and follow and say, oh yes, I'm nature, I'm the universe, I'm this high vibration. If the mind doesn't get it, the mind is gonna freak the fuck out and the mind is going to run. Yeah, that is why there are escapist things like, getting into addictions and drugs and all these kind of things. And I'm seeing it in the spiritual world, and I'm calling it out, right? I'm calling it out because we don't need any more spiritual people going like, whatever, I'm going to another combo medicine, whatever ceremony, and like coming out and not ever grounding it in. The shamanistic rituals are here as gifts to us. And for us to be able to open up to that, to carry that forward, it's truly a gift and a blessing, and we have to carry it very carefully and truly with so much sacredness, right? So just for the uninitiated, if you're new here, I don't work with combo or a cambo or whatever you call it, but I do work with the plant spirit of tea. And when I say tea, a lot of times people's minds would probably think like Earl Grey and all the beautiful things that we have. The most of the teas that I work with, they are actually from their own spiritual and ancestral lands. So we are going back in time into a beautiful space of shamanic wisdom and ancestral wisdom, and also the the spiritual nature of Mother Gaia, which we connect with through that plant. And I can't tell you how many times, even through the space, in the online space where we sit together, because there is that ceremony and the spirit of true consecration, like it's like a deep sacredness that we hold. That's where the transformation begins to happen. Do you need to be in a ceremony to be transformed? Probably not. But if you love beautiful things, if you love Mother Nature, and if you love sacred silence and stillness, because there is something there that you haven't tapped into, then you will understand what I'm saying when, just that bowl of tea, when you hold that tea, it is infused with messages and downloads and insights that you and only you can access. I can't even access it for you, even if I wanted to, but I can open that gateway for you, right? Every one of you have that ability, so I don't want you to ever feel that I have to fly like 1,000 miles over to a sacred site just to be enlightened. You don't need that. It's great if you do. I would love to do that. I mean, what are you kidding? I would love to do that. One day I would love to go to Egypt. I would love to go to Peru, But for me, right now, what is really anchoring me in and allowing me to expand in such a rapid rate and really transform all those things that we see as illusions of security, so quickly, is a daily practice of just sitting with my beautiful tea. And when I say just, I really mean everyone can do this. I set up a beautiful sacred space because I have a temple that I want to access myself. But if you don't have that, you can literally just hold a cup of tea every day, stare out of your window, drink in silence 3 cups, then start your day, go into your meditation. You can absolutely do that too. But if you're really, really serious about really cultivating that sense of true purpose in you, of understanding that, okay, how can I unveil my authentic power as a human being who knows she's cosmic? Because I will always say this, we're cosmic beings being human, okay? But we can't just be cosmic all the time. The reason we came here is we all have a purpose to serve. Whether you are serving as a mother at home or grandmother, or especially, I just want to put this out there, especially when you're just a mother or grandmother, you're doing amazing work. Do you know that? Like, you're changing humanity through the grandchildren and the children that you have. These are the people who will carry the torches forward. It's not just something. But I also want you to transcend the roles that you have in your mind, that you believe that is all you are. I want you to know that you're truly cosmic. And to know that, I don't just mean intellectually hearing me saying that. I want you to embody that. And that is my mission. That is absolutely my mission. So if you are absolutely, you're interested, you're kind of like, how does that work? You want to check in? I'm really, really happy to chat with you a little bit more about that. I have a free sacred transformation call that you can grab. Just DM me if you want to chat about that. I'm also opening up a tea ceremony on the moon experience on the 10th of September. And if you want to join me on that, that's a lot more affordable. I guess if you are curious about my work, you can absolutely join and check me out and be there and feel into the energy. Don't take my word for it, right? Like, just really come and experience it for yourself, because the work speaks for itself. I don't have to prove it, honestly. So yes, all the link will be right there, and if you're interested, come on in. I'm just here to just send so much love to all of you. Please, please, please let the illusions of security fall today, because it really is the one thing, just ask yourself, like, how much is this chasing of something you don't even like costing you? That is the truth. Wake up. It is your decision and your own decision only. You can choose to struggle or you can choose to rise. It really is that simple. For now, anyway. Because it really is. When your mind steps in, that's when it wreaks havoc. And you don't want that. Just make the decision, go forth, take that action, book that call, and let's get down to it. And that's the reason why I say mentors are so important, because on days when you feel like you can't do it, this is when you know how precious this kind of support really is. Yeah. All right, beautiful. Can't wait to speak to you, Elizabeth, and everyone else. Have a beautiful day. I will see you again very soon, probably when I'm back in Edinburgh, which is very, very soon, this Friday actually. So sending you all my love and blessings.